would recommend Louise if somebody's having problems. My instant is a recommendation because she's got such a unique insight to what makes people tick, and then she also has such a non-judgmental way of getting to the bottom of the problem, to being able to see. She cuts through all of it. There's no bullshit. There's no babble. There's no long and complicated things. It's so simple. I don't even try and give anybody any specific advice or anything. It's just like, you know what you got to do. Speak to Louise. Biggest was realizing that I wasn't a victim in anything, that nobody was responsible for the position I was in. I was an active player. I was actively encouraging and allowing all of the things that were happening to me. And once I started realizing, and it's so completely non-judgmental. It's just like, oh, it's me. Oh, look at that. Everything is me. It was just so, I was so startled. I was just like, okay, so simple. So that's easier to deal with. Once I started taking risks, or being able to see what my issues were, why I was doing it, and then being able to give things a name, then it was easier to start addressing the issues that I did have. And once I was taking responsibility for my behavior, I had to behave differently. It's so non-judgmental, but just so much compassion to realize, okay, I couldn't have done differently. I couldn't have behaved differently. It's how it is, and then to find a way forward. So that was my biggest benefit, was realizing I was responsible. The self-worth challenge for me was enormous because I had no idea what self-worth was. I was so busy surviving whatever was going on and down and around me and everything. I had no idea what needs and wants actually were. To me, it all seemed very selfish because I had other things to focus on and cope with, and I had children to raise, I had animals, responsibility, staff. There was no space in it for me, but I also didn't know what the words were. And it was realizing the simple things. One of the main things I realized is I needed my partner to treat me with kindness. And because I was so busy being defensive in everything, because I thought people were doing things to me, I hadn't quite realized at that point that I was responsible. But just that simple bit of kindness that I could ask for. It didn't need to be, and it didn't have to be dramatic. Just that little bit of kindness enabled me to be more authentic to myself and then to others. It was just so liberating to realize that I could ask for things and that I could have them because I was worth it. And then seeing other magnificent women battling, I would think, but like, why would you? I mean, you're so amazing. To realize then that we're all on the same team. Everybody is actually amazing. And it's not like, fluffing people, but these amazing people. And if they're having issues and they can't see it as well, I'm clearly not damaged beyond all repair. I just need someone to point out the root and to give me words to verbalize. Because once I had words that I could verbalize, then I realized that it wasn't selfish and I could ask for things. And once I started feeling the benefit in my own self and understanding that it was allowed, and it was allowed to have emotions and needs and wants, that it wasn't a sign of weakness. It made such a big difference in my life. I would recommend it so strongly. Even if somebody thinks that they are that they've got self-worth handled, there's so many levels and there's so many, it's the very small things that start the building block. And if you've somehow managed to miss one of those, if you can find it, the freedom and the calm and the peace it's priceless. I would recommend it strongly. Group work terrified me. I could see no logic. I mean, as far as I was concerned, it was something that people did in rehab. And I didn't have issues, so why on earth would I be? And I mean, it just seemed such garbage. It's like, no, man. And I could find every excuse why I couldn't go. So, and then also, I mean, what was I going to say? I mean, and then also people would see if I happened to say something that I wasn't okay, because I was, as far as I was concerned, I was okay. Can you not see how okay I am? So it was, for me, I thought it would be a complete and utter waste of time. But then, I mean, once I got over myself and I showed up, just the fact that I managed to show up for me felt like a major win. And then seeing other people who have had, I mean, huge things to overcome. And then even small things are big things. That's not to say that small things are inconsequential. The small things are also just as important. And seeing magnificent people share that I wasn't alone, that everybody felt exactly the same way. And then seeing people share and seeing how they coped and what they did to get past and through huge hurts and dramas made me realize again that I wasn't alone and I wasn't broken beyond repair. Also, if I shared emotions, because for me the emotions were a big problem, sharing emotions and sharing and having feelings that I wouldn't die, that to me, and also asking for help wouldn't kill me instantly as I thought it would, that I was in actual fact then able to start addressing my own issues and to heal. And now, I mean, I obviously I would actively encourage people to find a support group, make their support circle strong, because your support circle is everything, and the quality of your support circle is the quality of your life. And I've met and found some amazing people, amazing, and being able to see their growth and their peace and calm that they found, for me has been, it's been magic. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the biggest things that I realized on my journey was my compulsive behavior. Everything that I do is everything or nothing. I'm very sort of obsessive about something, and I create art and I garden and I do things, but everything is like, that's all I would do. And I had no idea that my obsessive creation was in actual fact me hiding from the world. So it was far easier for me to be busy for hours and hours and hours doing the most complicated, complex art piece. Because while I was producing something, and you can see this is what I've done with this time, I've produced something, and some of the stuff, yeah, it's amazing stuff, but it was me hiding from the real world. And once I realized that that was a tool that I used to hide, I had to kind of stop arting, which was hard because it's compulsive, and start looking at what I was doing and the why. And what I was hiding from. And I had to actually get up and get out and start approaching and addressing what I was hiding from instead of just covering it up. And doing that has been one of the, it's been a huge saver. So now when I'm creating because it's fun and calm and relaxing. I'm not creating just to hide from the rest of the world. And I actually think that I can see a change in what I've started creating based on that. I'm now able to make multiples of something, whereas before I could only make one of a something. There could be no, it couldn't be a uniform item. It could eventually, because of all of its crazy, join up and be something, but I couldn't make a set of something because I just couldn't focus long enough, because the compulsiveness was too much. And that's one of the things that Louise has helped me see and address. That, and then also I realized that in trying to fix ourselves, we pick up and find far too many gurus. So we focus on, I'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then I'll do this and then I'll do that, because all of these things eventually must surely fix something. And it's also another way that we hide from ourselves. And realizing that, I was like, oh, I thought my behavior was so good. I'm so spiritual, look at me. And then realizing, oh, okay, hiding. So it's been quite remarkable to pull myself together. And it's like, oh, Lord, that's me. That's what I just think the whole journey with Louise has just been so phenomenal, so phenomenal.